The night my husband asked me to transfer $25 million. He wouldn't look me in the eyes. That's the detail I can never forget. Not the rain tapping against our kitchen windows. Not the trembling in his hands. Not even the way his voice sounded hollow, like a man already halfway gone. It was his eyes, or maybe the way he avoided mine. "Claire," he whispered, sliding a folder across the table. "If anything happens to me, promise you'll finish this transfer." I stared at him confused. "Anything happens to you?" "Daniel, what are you talking about?" He forced a smile, but it looked painful. "It's just business complications. I need you to trust me." Trust. Funny how one word can destroy an entire life. For 22 years, I had trusted that man with everything. I trusted him when we started with nothing but unpaid bills and borrowed furniture. I trusted him when he worked late nights building his investment company. I trusted him when he missed anniversaries, birthdays, even the funeral of my mother, because he claimed he was saving our future. And now he was sitting in front of me, asking me to move $25 million into an offshore account I had never heard of. Something inside me felt wrong immediately. "Why can't you do it yourself?" I asked quietly. He rubbed his forehead. "Because if regulators freeze the company accounts, this money disappears." Regulators. That word chilled me. Daniel had always been careful, controlled. The kind of man who read every line before signing anything. Hearing panic in his voice felt unnatural, terrifying. He reached for my hand. "Please," he said softly. "You're the only person I can trust." I wish I had listened to the fear inside me. But love has a dangerous way of silencing instinct. The next morning, I completed the transfer. $25 million. Just like he asked. And 48 hours later, my husband died. The phone call came at 3:12 a.m. Single car accident. Highway barrier. Instant death. That's what the police told me. I remember dropping the phone onto the kitchen floor, my entire body shaking so violently I could barely breathe. One moment, I was a wife waiting for her husband to come home. The next, I was a widow, surrounded by silence. The funeral happened fast. Too fast. Business partners showed up wearing expensive black suits and fake sympathy. Reporters waited outside the cemetery gates. People whispered about Daniel's company collapsing. But none of that compared to what happened after the funeral. My son Ethan arrived at my house that evening, carrying a small silver key in his hand. His face was pale. "Mom," he said carefully, "Dad lied to you." The room suddenly felt cold. "What are you talking about?" Ethan swallowed hard before placing the key onto the table. "I found a private storage unit Dad rented 6 months ago." I stared at him, and inside, his voice cracked. There were documents, hundreds of them. I felt my heartbeat speeding up. "What kind of documents?" Ethan looked directly at me, proof that Dad had another family. And in that moment, the man I had buried 2 days earlier suddenly became a stranger. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my living room staring at the storage unit documents spread across my coffee table, while Ethan paced back and forth in silence. Photos, bank statements, property, records, and letters. So many letters. At first, my mind refused to believe it. My husband couldn't possibly have another family. Daniel barely had time for us. How could he secretly build an entirely different life? But the evidence was undeniable. There was a woman named Vanessa, and 2 teenage girls, his daughters. My hands shook as I flipped through photographs of birthday parties, beach vacations, Christmas mornings, moments he never shared with me, while I sat home alone, thinking my husband was trapped in endless business meetings. He was building memories somewhere else. I felt physically sick. 22 years of marriage suddenly looked like a performance. Every late-night phone call, every cancelled vacation, every urgent meeting. Lies, all of it. But what destroyed me most wasn't even the affair. It was the money, the $25 million. Daniel made me transfer wasn't company money at all. It was ours, our retirement funds, hidden investments, assets connected to both our names. And according to the documents Ethan found, Daniel planned to disappear with Vanessa after finalizing the transfer. Disappear. He wasn't protecting us. He was abandoning us. I remember collapsing onto the floor, unable to breathe through the pain crushing my chest. Ethan knelt beside me immediately. "Mom, how long?" I whispered. He looked away. "Looks like almost 15 years. 15 years. Half my marriage, half my life." I cried harder that night than I did at Daniel's funeral because the man I mourned never truly existed. The next few days became a nightmare. News outlets reported Daniel's company was under federal investigation for fraud. Investors lost millions. Former employees started speaking publicly about hidden accounts and illegal transfers, and suddenly, my name was attached to everything. Because I completed the transfer, the FBI contacted me 3 days later. I honestly thought my life was over, but something unexpected happened. During that interview, an investigator named Rebecca placed a file in front of me. "We know you didn't plan this," she said calmly. "Your husband used you." I stared at her, exhausted. "Then why am I here?" "Because you may be the only person who can help us recover the money." That was the moment something changed inside me. For days, I had drowned in grief, betrayal, humiliation, but now, anger replaced the sadness. Daniel had destroyed our family, used my loyalty, and turned me into an unwilling accomplice. And even after death, his lies were still hurting innocent people. I decided I was done protecting him. Over the next several weeks, I worked closely with investigators. Every document Ethan found became evidence. Every hidden account Daniel created slowly unraveled. And then came the final shock. Vanessa contacted me herself. I almost ignored the call, but curiosity answered for me. Her voice sounded tired, broken. "I didn't know about you," she whispered immediately. I froze. "What?" "He told me you divorced years ago." Silence filled the line. Suddenly, two women who should have hated each other realized we were both victims of the same man. Danielle had lied to everyone. Vanessa wasn't some mastermind stealing my husband. She was another woman manipulated by his charm, promises, and money. For the first time since his death, I stopped seeing myself as weak, because surviving betrayal takes strength. Most people never understand. And I was finally ready to take my life back.